Take a look at this. This white, chalky liquid right here cost me about $14. $14. And according to data from real DIY roof experiments and EPA cool roof studies, this stuff can drop your roof surface temperature by 15 to 20 degrees Celsius and pull your indoor attic temp down another 4 to 6 degrees on top of that. Now compare that to the quote I got for spray foam attic insulation, over $3,000, for a job that, in a lot of cases, does less than this $14 bucket can do for your roof. So why doesn't anyone tell you about this? Stick around, because at the end of this video, I'm going to be completely honest about where this trick falls short, and that part might be the most important thing you hear today. Quick question before we get into it. What color is your roof right now? Drop just one word in the comments. Black, gray, brown, whatever it is. I want to see how many of you are sitting on a heat trap right now. If you've got an attic in your house, you already know the feeling. Up there in the summer, it can hit 120, even 140 degrees Fahrenheit. That heat doesn't just sit there. It soaks down through your ceiling, your AC kicks on, and it never really gets a break. So most people call a contractor, and the average cost to professionally insulate or re-insulate an attic in the United States runs into the thousands of dollars, sometimes way into the thousands, depending on the size of your home. And here's the thing. Nobody in that industry is going to walk up to your door and say, "Hey, before you spend that kind of money, have you tried something that costs less than your weekly grocery run?" That's not a conspiracy. That's just how business works. There's no profit in a $14 bucket that you buy once and never need again. So here's how I want you to think about this. Instead of asking, what's the best new product I can buy to cool my attic, ask the opposite question. How did people keep buildings cool before air conditioning even existed? Before spray foam? Before reflective barriers? Before any of it? That question is what led me to this recipe. People call it liquid ice online, but really, it's just a modern name for something farmers and homeowners have been using for over 100 years. Hydrated lime. Let's go back. Long before anyone was selling reflective roof coatings, farmers across the United States were brushing a simple whitewash made from hydrated lime onto barns, chicken coops, and storage sheds. Not for decoration. They did it to keep those buildings from turning into ovens in the summer. Here's the science behind why it works. Hydrated lime, which is calcium hydroxide, reacts with carbon dioxide in the air as it dries and turns into calcium carbonate. That's the same mineral that makes up the white granules on top of an asphalt shingle. So when you paint a surface with this stuff, you're essentially creating a bright, reflective mineral layer on top of it. And reflective surfaces matter more than most people realize. According to the EPA, a roof with high solar reflectance, what's called a cool roof, can lower the roof's surface temperature by 15 to 20 degrees Celsius compared to a standard dark roof. That temperature drop on the surface translates into your attic running 4 to 6 degrees Celsius cooler inside. There's also a study published in the Journal of Civil Engineering and Management back in 2012 that looked at low emissivity reflective coatings on roofs. The researchers found that these coatings reduce the heat flow moving through the roof and into the building by an average of 23 to 25% during the summer months. And in real-world testing, one homeowner who documented his project on a DIY energy blog used 2 bags of hydrated lime, costing about $14 total, mixed with water and brushed onto his roof. He compared his attic temperatures before and after, and the difference was significant enough that he kept using it year after year, instead of paying around $600 for a commercial elastomeric reflective coating to cover the same roof. So let's ask the real question. Who actually benefits if you never find out about this? Think about it from a business perspective. A bucket of hydrated lime costs about $7 for a 50-pound bag at most hardware stores. You apply it, it works for a season or two, and that's it. There's no subscription. There's no maintenance contract. There's no follow-up visit. Compare that to spray foam insulation, reflective barrier installation, or a full roof coating job. Those come with labor costs, warranties, and follow-up service. None of that is evil. It's just business. But it does mean that a $14 bucket of lime is never going to show up in anyone's marketing budget. This isn't some hidden secret the industry buried. It's just knowledge that stopped getting passed down because nobody had a reason to keep talking about it. All right, let's get into exactly how to do this. First, what you need to buy. Head to a hardware store like Home Depot or Lowe's and look in the concrete or masonry section. You're looking for hydrated lime, sometimes labeled as Type S lime. A 50-pound bag runs about $7. For most attic roofs, 2 bags is plenty, so you're looking at around $14 total. Here's the mix. Combine your hydrated lime with water at roughly a 1-to-1 ratio by volume until you get a consistency like thick paint or pancake batter. Some traditional recipes also add a small amount of salt to the mix. The salt helps the coating bind better to the surface and dry to a brighter, harder white finish. Stir it well. It's going to look grayish and a little chalky at first. That's normal. Now for application. You can use a regular paint roller or a wide brush. Apply it directly to your roof decking inside the attic or to the exterior roof surface if your roofing material allows it. Put it on in a generous, even coat. Don't be shy with it. This stuff is cheap. Let it dry. It typically takes a few hours to set up. The key thing is making sure it doesn't rain on it during that drying window, so check your forecast before you start. Once it's dry, that grayish mixture turns into a bright, chalky white surface. And that white surface is now doing the job of bouncing sunlight and heat back away from your roof instead of letting it soak in. Safety note before you start. Hydrated lime is alkaline, which means it can irritate your skin, eyes, and lungs if you're not careful. Wear gloves, safety glasses, and a dust mask while mixing and applying it. Keep kids and pets away from the area until it's fully dry. Now, like I promised at the start, let's talk about where this actually falls short. Because I'm not going to sit here and tell you this is some miracle fix that replaces everything. First, durability. A lime wash coating is not as long-lasting as a commercial product like an elastomeric roof coating or a low emissivity radiant barrier paint. Those are designed to hold up for 5 to 10 years. Lime wash can fade, chalk off, or wear thin after 1 or 2 seasons, especially with heavy rain. You may need to reapply it. Second, this is not insulation. It doesn't add what's called R value to your attic. What it does is reduce the surface temperature and the radiant heat hitting your roof. That's different from insulation, which slows heat transfer through your walls and ceiling. In a lot of homes, the best results come from doing both. And third, results vary depending on your roof type, your roof slope, your climate, and how much direct sun your roof gets. If you're in a hot, sunny climate, you're going to notice this more than someone in a cooler region. So is it worth $14 to try? Based on the numbers we've looked at today, almost certainly yes. Is it a total replacement for proper insulation? No. And anyone who tells you it isn't being straight with you. The lesson underneath all of this is simple. Color and reflectivity change temperature. That's it. That one principle is why a black car gets hotter than a white car in a parking lot. It's why dark roofs in cities make neighborhoods hotter than light-colored ones. It's why your dark trash can or your metal shed bakes in the sun while a white one next to it stays cooler. Once you understand that, you start noticing it everywhere. And you start realizing how many small, cheap fixes around your house are sitting right in front of you, just waiting for someone to point them out. This channel exists to dig up exactly this kind of stuff. Practical, low-cost solutions backed by real data, with the honest pros and cons included, not just the highlight reel. If this was useful to you, subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And don't forget, drop the color of your roof in the comments below. I read every single one, and I'm curious just how many of you are about to grab a bucket of lime this weekend.